Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin. Back at the movies for another review. This time we're going to be taking another subscriber request. 1983's gangster film Scarface. Starring Al Pacino, Robert Loggia, Stephen Bauer, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantino, and Michelle Pfeiffer. Let's be honest. With Scarface, it has become this iconic gangster film. It's all right. It's an enjoyable watch. It's so silly. It's so preposterous. But, it's one of those movies that just sucks you in. It's not a great movie. I wouldn't even really go so far to call it a good movie. And it's certainly not one of Pacino's best movies. And you hear a lot of people say that this was one of his greatest roles. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the hell have you been watching? As much as I'm not a fan of The Godfather, in the sense that I'm not a Marlon Brando fan, I respect the hell out of his performance in both the first one and the second one. Serpico, Heat. He's had Any Given Sunday. He's had an amazing career. And for people to put Scarface as like their favorite Pacino movie, clearly they've been missing, a lot of his movies. It's a fun performance. It's over the top. It's silly. But it's not a good movie. It's fun. I'll never deny it's fun. At the end of the movie, you've got his character, Tony Montana, sitting with a mound of cocaine, and he's just taking blow, like just snorting piles of blow. And he ends up getting shot 25, 30 times, it seems like. And he's like, I take all your fucking bullet! Before getting shot in the back and, effectively ending the movie. And justifiably so. He's not a good guy. The man killed multiple people. He's a drug kingpin. Treated his wife like garbage, who he stole from his former boss, Robert Loggia. So his character got what he deserved. Does he have his qualities? Yes, he won't kill kids. That's always a positive. He'll kill somebody who's willing to kill kids. But, so again, I don't get the hype. I feel like true movie people will kind of be on the same wavelength as me. And, it's enjoyable to watch. It's a fun, guilty pleasure movie, but it's not a good movie. That being said, Michelle Pfeiffer was fantastic, and I feel like this was one of her big breakout roles, credit to her, going from Grease 2, where, I've seen reviews call it one of the worst movies of all time, and it's certainly just a terrible follow-up to what I think is a classic in the original Grease. But she really, really pushes, the boundary. She's a heavy drug-using, kind of cold, I wouldn't go so far as say manipulating woman, albeit, when she wants something, Elvita will get it. But it's such a fantastic performance by her, and this is where you start to see her career start to take these steps to where she became one of, the top actresses in Hollywood. She would get from this The Witches of Eastwick, which, great performance. Catwoman in Batman Returns, and she's had an amazing career. She's still going strong 40 years later. Stephen Bauer is good as Manny, but whereas he starts off strong and, confident, they take him out of the movie about halfway through, and then, it hurts the character in a lot of ways, in my opinion. I like the character. I really do. but, you cut him out halfway through the movie. And I get it. It's really more about seeing Tony Montana, Scarface, Al Pacino, really about seeing his, rapid rise and even faster decline, just because of greed and drug use and mistrust. So I get it, but it's still not enjoyable. Like, really one of the last times you see him is killing his former boss, Frank, and that's really it. That's all you get from him. You get a little snippets here and there, and that's it. That hurts the movie. It really does. Robert Loggia is fantastic as Frank. Just that guy who has power, just enough power to where two things will happen. One, he won't be fucked with by smaller time game, but not too big to where guys who have more power will feel threatened by him. And he'll do anything to protect that status. He's a weasel. And, whereas Tony Montana is cold and calculating, he, tries to be friendly with everybody. He plays the game a lot better than Montana does. I would look at Tony Montana as somebody who, if we're using baseball terminology, is a closer. Come in, bam, as, throw everything you have, and you'll get a quick return. Whereas Frank's character is, your long-term starter. Guy you're going to, every 5 days, you're going to rely on for 6 or 7 innings, and he's usually going to give it to you. So, to throw a little baseball terminology in a movie review. So, like I said, it's a fun, guilty pleasure. It's not a great movie. It's not even a good movie it's entertaining. So, I feel it deserves no higher than 6.4. Yeah, I think that's a fair score. I could go lower, but I think it's good enough to where it still falls in the okay category. It doesn't become a bad movie. It's okay. If it's on, you watch it, but, you gain nothing from it. That's it. That's all that movie, that's all Scarface is. It's get in, get out, go on with your day. No better, no worse. Scarface, directed by Brian De Palma, 1983, 6.4. That's my review. Let me know what you think. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time at the movies. Take care.